All right, we should be live. If YouTube and OBS isn't messing up, but we will see. All right, let's take a look. All right, looks like the feed is going through. Happy Wednesday, everybody. First in the house, Craig Lilly.
Okay, take both of them.
Take both of them? Oh my goodness. Okay, give me 1 second. I have to get the other twin. Oh boy, this is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I might, if they go crazy, I'm gonna need you to grab one of them. Here, let me see. Let me see.
Hello, lovey.
Oh boy. Oh, they're on the wrong side. They are on the wrong side. Okay. We're joined by both today. I don't remember what they were wearing last week. Melissa chose the outfits today, and I've been so busy. It looks like they both got Hello Kitty on. But, what up, Stang? You got a new... Wait, is it new, or are you just reading up instructions because you're bored and sitting on the toilet? You got an Arctic Liquid Freezer 3 Pro. Instructions, I'm guessing installation instructions? Had to stay and take care of the little one today. You got to stay home. Were you able to use a sick day on a loved one? I don't think I've ever done that. Like, I mean, before the girls even, I don't think I ever used a sick day to take care of like a parent or a family member or my wife or anything. But you're able to stay home and take care of the little one. Hopefully, your little one's feeling a little better. It was nice to spend time with her since I work in the morning till 5 p.m. and don't get home till 6 p.m. Usually I only get to see her right before bedtime. So, yeah, that's a nice change of pace. I'm glad you were able to do that. Hopefully you didn't feel too bummed out missing out on work. What up, Dispatcher Gaming? What up, Ryzen Dave? This in 6 minutes or I miss it? I'm UK. Nope, we're starting. Hopefully you're still here. Hopefully you are still here. Girls? What are you looking at, Mia? Is your sister's shirt that interesting? Okay, here, let me adjust the camera because the messages are in the way. Let's see. Kale 130, what is up? What's everyone playing these days, online or solo? Please recommend. Lately, what have I been playing? I've actually just been playing mobile games on my phone recently since I've been mainly focusing on trying to get content out, taking care of the girls. But I am looking forward to a game called Blue Protocol, which is coming in, I think, like 2 weeks. It's kind of like an anime gacha game, similar to Genshin Impact, but I think the graphic style and the world looks better. But I've been waiting for this game for so many years. It is free because it does have, microtransactions through the gacha system. But I'm just excited to try it out, even if it sucks. At least it finally came out. I can know if it's a good... I'm not going to say a good game or not, or a game that can hold my interest for any amount of time. But beyond that, what else am I looking forward to? I started playing a little bit of private server WoW called Turtle WoW recently. The one that's under the lawsuit or being sued by Blizzard. That one's pretty cool because they do a Classic Plus version. And then in terms of games that are coming out that I'm looking forward to, though, I don't think there's any AAAs. Anything in the near future. What am I looking forward to? Yeah, aside from that, I can't really think of anything. I've been really tempted to get back into retail WoW, but that subscription is the only thing that's keeping me. I'm not trying to pay a monthly subscription on a game that I already paid for. All that stuff. I will say, though, I need to finish my Skyrim run. Oh yeah, and then I went and finally beat Cyberpunk. I was sitting on pretty much the last mission for, I don't know, like months now. But I finally went in, put the hour in to beat it. So I finally can say I beat Cyberpunk. Have not played the DLC yet. But I do want to continue my playthrough of Skyrim, which is an old game, but still super fun, I feel, in 2025. What's up? What up, Giant Robots? I can't see any RX 9070 for 550. Yeah, so I got it for 550. It was actually available on Newegg for, I feel like a little bit of, like, at least a whole week when I got to it. But it looks like they sold out. I'm not sure if they're going to restock, but I'll go over it and we'll unbox it in a bit here. But yeah, it was going for 550. And we talked about it in previous streams. It's the OEM brown box one. It's a Sapphire 2 fan model, but yes. You're getting bored talking about gaming PCs and PC tech. Hopefully one day you guys will be into that. I know right now you don't understand what it is, so hopefully one day. You guys get better deals and more choice in the USA. It's bad here in the UK for parts scalpers, and I have to travel 2 hours for a big tech shop. Is there not a lot of online e-tailers that have pretty good prices? I personally rarely, I pretty much never buy hardware in person because all we have is Best Buy around me. I don't have a Micro Center, so, and they don't ship to me. So I pretty much exclusively buy online, unless it's local deals, but that's the used market. That's different. But we're talking about like buying, PC parts for market value brand new. Yeah, that's Newegg and Amazon, which is shipped for me. Hey, what up, Chris? Hello, hello, hello. What up, Cole? Let's see. Yes, we're going to look at the 9070 in a second. Usually at the beginning of streams, though, we just chill for a bit, let everyone get to the stream, have a little bit of small talk, say hi to everyone, do a little bit of chit chat, and then we'll get into the juicy good stuff. Yes. My missus chooses the outfits, and their grandma, their aunties buy them so much Hello Kitty, like Minnie Mouse, like very girly outfits. What up, Dong Too Long? Glad to see you here. I still love that name. Cole Hurt. Today was a big spend day for me, though. Ordered parts for my next PC flip. What parts did you get, Cole? Oh, what's up, love? You gonna eat your sister's hand? Look at this girl. She grabbed me like a corn on the cob. She about to take a nice slobbering to it. Oh. Mia, what are you doing? That's your sister's hand. You can suck on your own hand right here. Okay. Uh-oh. Hopefully I don't have to get up soon. Here. We will rock. This doubles as a rocking chair. They are so chill. Oh no, it's because the craziness is coming. They got their craziness out earlier and they will be crazy tonight, as always. They're always seemingly chill when there's eyes on them. Like when we have guests over, they're like super chill and everyone's like, oh my god, they are so chill. It must be nice having like easy babies and stuff. But then they go crazy when nobody else is looking and it's just me and mom. But they're doing pretty good right now. Because they both just ate and had their diapers changed, so hopefully they're good. Yeah, what's wrong, love? Okay. We gotta go to the where is it? We gotta go to the tracking mode. All right, we're gonna track. We're gonna track the girls. We gonna stand. Cause they don't want to sit. Boom, boom, boom. It's tracking the girls and not me. Okay. Had to take a fake sick day since... Okay, got it. That's what you did, Stang. Sorry, I'm just trying to get... How am I supposed to do the mouse and stand up, girls? How do you expect me to do this? I don't have one of those things where I can control the scroll with my eyes. Skate 4, anyone? I saw Discord trying to get me to get prizes or something on Skate. Did that just come out? Is it free to play? Or is it buy to play? I've seen inklings of it. I never played the other Skate games, but I've been seeing it pop up. Is it like a Nikki game? Okay, got it. I see. The Nikki game, that's the booty shooter one, right? My friend Jan plays that. I don't play gotcha games for the big booty anime chicks. I like usually the JRPG pixel sprite ones, or in terms of Blue Protocol, it's just gonna be a kind of like a Japanese themed RPG with online aspects of it. Just got a 7800 XTD for 225. Yeah, that's a really good deal. They normally go for like 350, I think. You've been playing. The only thing so I've never been a huge Borderlands fan, but Borderlands 4 has been getting a lot of hate because of how crappily it runs. And apparently the head dude over there at whatever studios it is that put out Borderlands, he was like, you just gotta temper your expectations and play with lower settings or something like that. People are just super mad at them. Borderlands, maybe I haven't looked into the graphics enough, but I've seen the memes that like they showed a picture of Borderlands 1 in whatever year that came out, and then Borderlands 4 in 2025, and like the hardware requirements to run both of them are so drastically different, but the graphic style, because it's that cell shaded, for the most part, it's like a artistically stylistic type of game, right? Kind of like World of Warcraft, where you can make it look supposedly better and run on super crazy high-end hardware, but overall, at the end of the day, it still looks like that type of game where I don't know if you needed to make it, that demanding hardware-wise. But I don't plan to play or pick up Borderlands, especially for the price for a game that I'm not going to play. So I haven't personally seen it and played it, but I just thought that meme was kind of funny. I just got the 5070. Is that good? Says Unrivaled. I gotta skip some stuff. Depending on the price, but I think right now the 5070s are going for under MSRP. I think I saw one going for 500. For 500 bucks, I think it's a fine buy. I don't think the 12 gigabytes of VRAM is as big of an issue as people say it is. I'm constantly testing older hardware that has supposedly not enough VRAM to play modern games, and I'm able to make it run without being a stutterfest. And if you just need NVIDIA and you don't want to go AMD because you're doing more than gaming, then that's kind of the only option you have at that price range. Yeah. I'm over here playing GTA 5 online, practicing for GTA 6. I spent a lot of time playing GTA 5 online, and I don't know. I haven't really touched the online play except for when we do the LAN parties and we dick around with each other. But like, I haven't played online by myself with other strangers in many years. I don't know what about it. I feel like GTA is a really fun and good game. Maybe it just might be that I put so many hours into it, both on PlayStation 3 and then on PC when it came out, that I'm just like done. Which is weird because I can keep on playing WoW over and over again over the years and not get sick of it. How you doing, loves? You guys are getting fussy. I might have to bring you up to mama because we got to open up this graphics card. Ooh, tape. Oh yeah. Distract you guys with some LTT screwdriver. Oh, let me put this sharp bit away. And then like, oh, it's clear. So pretty. You guys get distracted while I talk. What's the one of the games? Yeah, so there's so many game ads that's like, oh, here's your fort, kill some polar bears, and build it up, or here's your army person, and you keep on multiplying yourself and getting better weapons while killing endless hordes. I don't play those ones. I play a game called Last Claudia, which is I would say a higher quality game than those slop fests. MSRP, we aren't in April 1st yet. You can get some cards at MSRP, not the 9070 XT from what I've seen. The 9070 was that open box brown deal, but then you can get Nvidia cards for around MSRP nowadays. And cards like the 5070 Ti are not a bad buy at all. Here you go. You can play with tape. Oh, and you can play with the screwdriver, no? You want to play with the screwdriver? Here. Here you go. Can you hold it? This thing's heavy. Let's see how strong you are. Nope. Hey, yo, what up, Pedro? No, MIA, not Miha, but Mia. Just MIA. Mia, Mia, Mia. Is buying a CPU from AliExpress trustworthy? Yes. I've bought plenty of CPUs from AliExpress. Nowadays, there does seem to be a little bit more scams. If the price is too good to be true, you definitely need to check it out and make sure it's a reputable buyer or seller that has sold and has rep for selling CPUs, and people leave ratings with pictures and stuff. Oh my goodness. But I would say the AliExpress CPU deals, we should check tonight, actually. Can you remind me to check after we unbox the 9070? The issue with AliExpress lately is that the prices has gone up. I'm guessing it's due to tariffs, but also some people have been hit with after the fact, like import fees from the delivery. So, but then some people haven't. So I don't know what the details of that are. I've ordered something on AliExpress somewhat recently, and it came to me without problems. But I've seen on the subreddit, specifically for AliExpress, some people were like, my item got to the US and then they held it and wouldn't give it to me unless I paid an extra like $50. I'm like, okay. I don't know what they're buying, but for small like PC related stuff, I have not had issues. But I would say if you can find it for the right price, AliExpress was a pretty good place to get CPUs for better deals than you can find on Amazon or Newegg in the US. Don't rock on the chair. Well, the chair's back is meant to go back and forth. It has a lean. If I fall, I don't know. Would I be fast enough to catch these girls? I think so. I think dad instincts would kick in. Should I get a 7900 XTX? It dropped down to 749. As for 749, I'm pretty sure you can find a 9070 XT. And even if raw raster-wise is not as good, I think being newer generation, better power consumption, and FSR 4, I think it's worth the trade-off. Also, is this a brand new 7900 XTX or a used one? Because if you're trying to compare it used, then I would for sure go with a new 9070 XT. Manuel, did you guys have twins? Yes, we had twins 4 months ago. Okay, girls, we're 20 minutes into the stream. People are waiting for this GPU unboxing, so I gotta bring you back to mommy, okay? And then I'll get you guys near the end of stream. So you guys be good. All right, I'll be right back. Let me drop them off upstairs to mother. And yeah. Oh my goodness, this is so greasy. I went and grabbed a snack too. Y'all ever had a sesame ball from like dim sum? But my gosh, it's so greasy. Okay. Let me fix the camera. Let me wipe my mouth off from the sesame oil. Okay, what's chat talking about? Have I seen TikTok has computer hardware? Yes, TikTok Shop. I have bought from TikTok Shop before. It's usually through, like Newegg has a store in TikTok Shop. So it's like, you're not buying from TikTok, you're buying from the marketplace there, which anyone can kind of sell on. Like, you know, any third party. But when TikTok Shop first came out, it had a really good deals on stuff, and I picked up some stuff there. You really need one of those spinning mobiles for kids above PC to have them keep them busy. Or a second monitor. They were looking at the stuff on the screen, but I think after a while, babies just kind of hate sitting still or being forced to sit still. They like to like either be crawling or messing around or like being held while standing up and walking around. Usually, it's really hard to hold a baby sitting still for like a long period of time, and we lasted like 20 minutes, so not bad. Does the LTT have mini Torx bit? Let me see. I think you would no. By default, it does not. You have to buy the. They sell a set, I believe, but by default, I think it's too niche. They have more the common stuff, like the multiple flatheads, multiple Phillips, magnet head, some hex ones. Yeah. Okay. I have a double chat overlay. Do I? When you watch on the TV, what does that mean? I think, well, YouTube has its own chat thing, but I put the chat on the screen so that if people watch it after the fact, they don't have to watch the live chat replay, and it's just like live there on the side. So, I think it might be the interface, but okay. Let me see. On 5070 Ti and 70XGD, do I go 240 hertz, 3440, 1440p? If I have 3440, 1440p, 170 hertz. I'm personally, I would, well, it depends on how much the 240 hertz is. What kind of games are you playing that you need more than 170 hertz? How much the 240 hertz monitor costs? I feel like you have a good enough monitor. I guess you could always resell it, but monitor resale value is not the greatest. I would, I feel like that money could be spent elsewhere. You already, I mean, I know you have the CPU and the GPU already, but like, I don't know. Like for me, like storage is always king. I can never have enough storage. Things like that. Uh-oh. No. Wait, Mike shouldn't have died. How did it die and come back? That's weird. Yeah, I'm seeing it up there. Okay. Weird, 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 weird. I didn't touch anything, did I? No? Okay. Playing Call of Duty. Okay, so you're playing Fortnite and Forza and stuff, and those are actually pretty easy to run at high refresh rate. But the question is, anytime I'm like thinking of doing an upgrade, I always ask myself, am I that unhappy with my existing setup that I'm willing to fork over hundreds of dollars? I know personally that, because I mean, I run, what's my refresh rate on my monitor? I think I run at 144, but I think it's a 165. Let me see. So I have an ultra wide 1440p advanced display. Oh no, this is a 144 hertz monitor. So yeah, I run it at that, and I don't think, even if I'm running like low end games, I know I could push up to like 200-300 FPS. I never had the inkling, and this is just personal preference, that I needed more, like a higher refresh rate. I think it would not make a significant enough difference to my overall enjoyment of the gaming experience to justify the money spent. So it just depends. I don't know. I'm cheap. Also, I have other priorities in my life now. I can't just be spending money willy-nilly for upgrades that I feel aren't significant, if that makes sense. But if you've got disposable cash, then why not, right? Okay. People are probably waiting on the deal. This is the deal I got. It is out of stock. I don't know when it's going to be back in stock, but it is the Sapphire RX 9070, which I guess, how many different versions of it are there? Because isn't this is the Pulse. Interestingly, they don't call it a Pulse on the title, but it says it on the card. But this was going for $550, which is the MSRP, but the caveat is that it is quote unquote an OEM brown box version, which meant, I guess, originally it was supposed to go to like OEMs, to put into like, system integrators or whatever, where the box doesn't matter. So it's not going to have a nice fancy box on the outside, which I do not care about. Considering I got it for $550, but it is out of stock. Let me see if I can find the build a PC sales just to show you guys what it was. This one right here. So this is 3 weeks ago, 22 days ago, right? So it was on build a PC sales. There was the price, and it has since gone out of stock. Now I did look, and other people were also talking about like the warranty and all of that. And even we looked through the warranty process, and it looks like, just based on what they put here, it should have the same warranties as always. Yeah, 2 years. So that's why I kind of got it, because I am doing a PC build that is a little bit nicer than usual. So I needed an appropriate graphics card. So we're gonna unbox it, and we're gonna take a look at. Oh man, I should maybe wipe my hands a little bit better, because that grease, that grease from the sesame seed, I don't want to get it on the graphics card. Let me see, do I have a wipe down here? I just have rubbing alcohol, which is gonna kill the dryness of my skin. Let me go wash my hands in the bathroom real quick. Let me know if you guys could hear the sink and if this goes through the wall. All right, I'm in the bathroom. There's like 2 walls. Here's me washing, getting some soap. Okay. Let me know if it sounds robotic. I'm drying my hands right now, still in the bathroom. Okay. All right. How did all of that sound? Loud and clear? Really? Okay, yeah, through the bathroom's kind of impressive, because it's two walls. But okay, hands are nice and clean. Let me turn up the brightness of this a little bit. Okay. Where's the knife? No different sound. Nice. Steam Deck is getting a price cut? Which one? I want the lowest end Steam Deck to get a super price cut, because then I can just pick one up. brand new instead of used. But they probably don't make those anymore, so I could only probably buy them used. Okay, so let's open it together. Oh, there's that brown box they were talking about. Ooh. Man, Newegg always be sending... I have so many of these things from buying on Newegg. We got some free... Anybody need some free meals? 40% off DoorDash. Ooh, 3 polo shirts or polos, 99. Seems kind of expensive. This is Charles Tierwit. Never heard of it. Okay. No invoice. No packing slip. Interesting. Okay. So here is our brown box. Sapphire. RX. 9070. We got some recycling perforations there. It does have an official Sapphire seal sticker. And then... Yep, Sapphire 9070 gaming, and then some serial numbers, which I've seen content creators blur out the serial numbers. I mean, is it possible for people to claim your warranty? I feel like that'd be hard to fraud, you know? Like, if I have the actual card with the sticker and I can record a video of it, are they gonna listen to me or the guy who somehow just got my serial number but doesn't physically have the card in hand? He's going to have to go through a lot of work to convince Sapphire that he has my, or they have my graphics card, right? All right, we're going to cut that. Oh, I don't have an overhead cam setup right now, so we just got to do it like this, like the old school way. Let's open it up. Okay, it is... Got this paperwork. There's a sticker. Yep. So yeah, I don't think it comes with anything extra too, which I'm not sure if these cards ever did come with anything extra, like with regards to adapters. Remember graphics card back then used to come with like Molex to 6-pin or 8-pin PCIe power connectors and adapters. So okay, so here's the card and. So the box had a seal on it. This bag, though, usually I feel like graphics card bags typically have some kind of seal sticker here. But none. But I'm cool with that because looking at the actual rear I/O, all these have covers on them. You guys can probably see there is a plastic wrap on this. Let me see if I can find any signs of, yeah, I don't think I'm seeing any signs of, like, wait. I can't tell if that's a scuff from the bag, or is that in the design? Does that kind of look like it's a little bit scuffed? That's like scuff marks, right? Let's see if those come off. Because otherwise... I mean, they're scuff marks, but that could have been for me pulling it out of the bag or something. Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, you see that big line across. It also... Did it not have a... I don't know if these, like, OEM brown box even getting to the system integrators. Like, does it not come with... Oh, no, I pulled that off. Or did I pull that off? I'm going to have to look at the footage again. That's my short-term memory. But, I mean, this side, there's no problem. I'm surprised there was no plastic peel on the back, though. Because that would have prevented whatever the heck, you see this area? Whatever the heck is going on, like, right here. Still like graphics card bag. So when I pulled it out, did it have a cover? It didn't. No. Yeah, it didn't have a PCIe cover, so I did not pull it off. Which I'm okay with. Just taking a look at it. I mean, you guys probably can't see the detail. I guess you can see the details a little bit. It doesn't look like it's been slotted in and out of like a motherboard or anything. It looks pretty kind of hard to get the details. It looks pretty pristine. So aside from the scuffs on the back, which I've got some rubbing alcohol, microfiber. Let's see if I can get those scuffs off. Either way, for $550, this is the best deal you're gonna get for this card for I don't know how long. Okay, so let's see those scuff marks. Are you gonna go away? And this is like a pretty high percentage, so it's gonna dry really quick. Yeah, because I mean, it could have been my own handling of the card. So now we look at it again. For some reason, in real life, I'm not seeing a scuff mark, but when I hold it up to the camera, how does that work? It looks like there's a scuff when I'm looking at it through the camera on the screen, but looking at it right now, like literally in front of me, I'm not seeing the scuff mark. For the most part, they're gone, but let me see. Let me hold it up again. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I guess not. It might have just been. Yeah. So those scuff marks are pretty much gone. So, I don't know. It might have been like some dust in the bag or something because it was not sealed. But here's the card. So for a 2-fan card, let me see if I can pull up a card for a size comparison. Like here's the kind of fat 3080 that I picked up not too long ago. So let's take a look at it compared side by side. So big fat 3080 MSI Gaming. Here's this one. So it is shorter, the Sapphire card. In terms of thickness, it's roughly the same. And width-wise, it's about the same. So it's a little bit shorter, but that's not a bad thing because more compatibility for cases. These are pretty big fans though, my goodness. I'm not sure if you can tell the size difference between the fans, but they are bigger on the two. Yeah. Let's look at the ports. What are people asking? USB-C? No, this is double HDMI and double DisplayPort, it looks like. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, this is going to be in a future build video. Let me look at the aesthetics. Okay, there's red. I'm trying to do like a clean RGB-less stealth build. But like, it was really hard to find a good value all black card. I could have paid $50 more, so another 10% for an XFX plain black 9070. But I felt like this was the deal to get. So I'm going to see if I can make the aesthetics work out for that upcoming build to work around with this. But there it is. So we're not going to test it or anything today. I don't have the test bench set up. I already put away the Sapphire motherboard that we got from last week. So, Danny, I hope you and MML, aka Melissa, me, Alexi, are doing well. Yep, everyone is doing. We're doing well. It's just, you know, typical parent stuff. It's always unpredictable, and sometimes there's ups, sometimes there's downs. But for the most part, we're doing well. Dancing Danny, gnomed with the 33-month membership continuation. Gnomed, how you doing? What up, what up? Thanks for stopping by. Glad to see you here still. A good NZXT case with the red strip in it. Go with the GPU. I'm thinking like maybe one of those custom cables. Extend sleeve cut. Like power supply extension cables that are sleeved with like a black and hint of red or something, but something like Black and red. Cable extensions. Let's see if they have them. Not something like this, except with less red even. Maybe like only 1 or 2 strips of red. But, yeah, like this. Here we go. This is the perfect aesthetic. Look at that. It's got the black, it's got the dark gray, and then it's got a little bit of red. That's almost exactly the aesthetic of this card. There's no gray, but I think the gray still works out, especially since I'm going to probably get some RAM that might have some gray on it. But yeah, that with this card, yeah, that's like perfect. The amount of red on this, I think goes really well. I might actually pick these up. What is this? Formula Mod, $22. Okay, let me add that to my cart. I need to wait for the rest of the parts to come in before I make the decision, but yeah. Anything else that's similarly to that? I think that might be the one. Yeah. That might be the one. Everything else has way too much red on it. Ketchup and licorice cables. Yeah. Subtle dark red RGB-less build would look great. Yeah. Okay. So, let me see if I missed anything in chat. Soap Dish says, oh nice, I got a Sapphire Pulse 9070 XT for MSRP a couple weeks ago. Great card. Where did you get it for MSRP, hat? Let me see build the PC sales. 9070 XT. I have not been seeing anything for MSRP, so let's do new. Reaper, oh here it is. Where is this though? Bundle. See, Micro Center. Okay, I take that back. I think Micro Center is the only place I've really seen MSRP, aside from like week 1 launch, which doesn't really count because of the limited stock, and then when they refreshed it, it wasn't MSRP anymore. But okay, so that's Micro Center, and this one's not MSRP. This one's a Reaper for $650, which is not MSRP. Yeah, so I haven't seen online availability for a 9070 XT at MSRP. So I'm guessing you must have gotten it from a Micro Center. Gnome, you're tired. You want breakfast? Breakfast? What time is it where you're at? I forget where you're from, Gnome, but I thought you were in the US. It is long past breakfast time. You gotta go to sleep. And then you can wake up and have some breakfast. No, actually, breakfast for dinner is actually amazing. I got one for MS. Yeah, so what I've been seeing is cards for MSRP, if anyone's able to get it, AMD-wise anyways, has typically not been in the US. The US right now pretty much only has like NVIDIA at MSRP. Probably because the super cards are around the corner. So they need to like move inventory, but... thanks for addressing that, Chris. But yeah, Danny, you're able to post links to the Discord chat. There's a stream submission, not Discord chat, but the Discord channel. There's a stream submissions thing where people can post links. Oh, when was the time limit to do the Corsair thingy? The class action lawsuit, or when's the cutoff for that? Because I still have not been able to do it. I need to check again. Reminder, if it's still available to do, if you bought Corsair memory, you might be able to get some money back. Yeah, I've been seeing that too. The Founders Edition cards from NVIDIA directly, people haven't been able to get them for MSRP. I would love a 5080 Founders Edition card, just because I love the Founders Edition look, and it would actually fit in my ITX case. And a 5080 is like way beyond the performance level I would need, but it would also be like very helpful for like the whole streaming and like, you know, video editing side of things as well. It's just something that I can never justify spending $1,000 on a single PC component like that. That is crazy. So maybe one day I'll get a 5080 Founders Edition after it becomes like 2 generations old. Kind of like how I picked up the 3080 for like under $400. Like in a few years from now, maybe it'll drop to around $400 or $500, and I can pick one up and it'll still be relevant. But yeah, until then, that's too rich for my blood. Sometimes when I want to hint to my wife what I want to eat for at dinner time, I ask her, "What do you want for dinner?" Dude, pho has been crazy. You want to know how much pho costs around me now? It's like 14, 15, 16 bucks a bowl. Gone are the days of like 7 or 8 bucks a bowl. It's sad. Eating out is just so expensive now. What was wrong with Corsair Memory? In decline. Were you not here for the last stream? So basically with Corsair Memory, they were hit with a class action lawsuit, which is funny because every memory manufacturer, or a lot of them, I'm pretty sure, have done this on some sets of memory they had, for saying that their memory could hit a certain speed instead of saying it could potentially hit up to that speed, because there are some cases where you can't get it to do that, and they didn't specifically say that you had to go into the BIOS and manually set it. It was kind of like for deceptive marketing, essentially. There's nothing actually wrong with Corsair Memory. It's just they got targeted because they're probably one of the biggest bankroll memory sellers, or at least complete memory kit sellers that post their advertised like XMP speeds, but didn't say that you don't get it just by plugging it in. You have to manually enable it. And if you're not on the QVL, or if you have a weird motherboard that doesn't like it, you might not get those speeds. So it's deceptive marketing. Expensive pho makes you sad. I think in California, though, with the big community of Vietnamese people there, pho prices is more competitive. But yeah, up here where I'm at, there's not as much competition, so the prices go up. Wait until NVIDIA exits the GPU for the GPU gaming market. For you're talking about for like data centers and AI. Ah, as much as people keep saying that because it makes up such a small part of their portfolio, or like how much revenue they bring in, I don't see that actually being a thing where they will just completely drop off. I don't know why, but yeah, I just don't see them. Did people say that about EVGA though? Were they like, there's no way EVGA is gonna fall or fail or close shop? They haven't closed shop completely, but it seems like they pretty much have. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not seeing it. Nvidia is just always gonna keep like their finger in the pie a little bit, just to do it. Is a used 9070 XT for 625 good for 625? I mean, that's as good as you're gonna get it, and the cards are not even a year old yet, so it's not like it has so much age on it that I would worry too much about the you know, about the longevity of it, unless the person abused it. But for 625, and then you wait, used, actually, this could be a better deal if you're buying it used locally. You hear them? Do you hear the crazy girls upstairs? No, but for 625, because if you bought a $600 MSRP card in the store, you have to pay tax on it, which is gonna bring it up to like, I don't know, depending on your tax rates. For me, that would be 660. 625. That's why I like the used market, even for stuff that is current generation, because you can save on taxes. So 625 out the door, like you go meet up with the person, hand over 625, you get a working card. I think that's worth buying used. It's on Jawa. Ooh, okay. So 625. does that include shipping though? And then you're gonna have to pay tax? Because then, depending on if I don't see. I think you're gonna have to pay for shipping because not many Jawa sellers include free shipping. So then you're gonna be looking at over $700, which I guess it's still cheaper than buying like a new egg. Let's take a look at the 9070 today. Cause we're already looking at like 700 is the lowest one. Oh, let's see. No, you can get one for they've dropped a little bit, but even after tax, this is gonna be over 700. So is it worth it to buy a used one? And I don't know what model you're looking at. Did you say? You didn't say the model, but it might be a nicer model than this. Used versus a new one. The Steel Legend is also $670 with free shipping. I don't know. It depends on what the total price is from Jawa. What's the furthest I would drive for a used card? It depends. I would drive. Let me see. It all works out to like how much money is saved versus how much time and gas I'm spending. So I'm trying to think of an example. Like if someone had a 5080 up for $600, that's like a $400 discount. I would be willing to drive 2 hours each way for a total of 4 hours, because that's like $100 an hour saved. All right. The issue is the further you drive out, there is that risk of someone canceling on you or not showing up at the last minute, which I've seen and people have told me about happening to them. That's my biggest concern, flakers. You guys have seen in one of the videos, I was supposed to meet up with this dude and it wasn't even that far away. It was like 30 minutes. And to me, that's far to go pick up hardware because I'm lazy and I try to stay close. But that one video where I set up a meeting to buy the 1080 Ti from the guy, day of, I'm messaging him and he doesn't respond. Like, I'm not trying to set up a deal 4 hours away and then have someone flake similarly like that. Of course, you always try to check in on them, but then sometimes I've seen people say that they set up a deal, then they plan to drive like an hour or two away to pick it up. Halfway through the drive, the guy tells them, hey, someone just messaged me offering more money than I have it listed for. I'm just going to go with them. So the deal's never locked in until the hardware and money exchanges hands. And the longer away you drive, I just have like this paranoia that people are going to screw me over and waste my time. So I'm very cautious when I have to drive a far amount, or a far distance rather. So yeah, it's kind of hard to answer. They would have to be someone that is like very good with communication from the start. They would have to have pretty good reputation on whatever app I'm buying from. And I would have to feel like locked in that they're not going to screw me over. Rimu owes me money. Danny, how to make friends? It depends how old you are. The older you are, the harder it is to make friends. And I'm not going to lie. But in school, like both college and high school or middle school or whatever, just make friends by, common interests. At that age range, it is very common, especially if you're watching my content, you're probably into PCs, into video games. It is very common for people in that age range to already like not for dating, but for making friends. I've never tried that. But going to local places like game shops, like tabletop game shops, retro game shops, just doing physical activities, you could find people who have common hobbies with you too. So yeah. Oh no, did I mute test 1 2? There's no way. Is it back? What is cutting out my mic? Give me 1 second. Maybe I switch mics. I'm not touching anything. This is weird. Test 1, 2. Okay, give me 1 second. I know what's going on. The USB cable is, every time I slightly bump it on the receiver, it's disconnecting, which is very annoying. Let me see if this fixes it. Okay. Yeah, why is this not being recognized? Wireless receiver, why you do this to me? Yeah, USB not recognized. What is going on? USB device issues. It's good now because I'm actually on this mic right here. Hello, 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 hello. But I like the wireless mic better. Give me 1 second. Okay, let me see. Okay. Alright, we should be good now. I just need to not touch the receiver. Sorry about that. It's not interference. It's just either a finicky USB hub or a finicky USB cable. Okay, we should be good. I apologize for that. But yeah, making friends. What we were talking about, how to make friends. Find people with common interests. There's pretty much a subreddit for every single city, I feel, out there. Find like online communities for, also like Facebook groups, or what are those other apps that are kind of like Facebook? You know, the neighborhood apps. If you are having that much trouble finding friends, you gotta explore all your options. Just tell people, hey, I'm into games, I'm into this. Anyone want to like hang out? You are not the only person out there who's struggling to make friends. There are other people in the same position looking to do the same thing too. So you just have to put yourself out there. Plus, putting yourself out there online, there's like no risk, right? Compared to in real life. Like in real life, if you walked up to someone trying to strike up a conversation and be friends with them and get rejected, that definitely feels like a big hit to your self-esteem, I would say. But if you just put out a post on Reddit or the neighborhood apps or Facebook or whatever, like, hey, anyone into video games or want to, hang out, do whatever, and if you get rejected, it's just online. Who cares? It's way less of a risk and way easier to like just put out a bunch of feelers for. So where online though? So like here, I'm gonna show an example, right? So Reddit Seattle. So I don't live in Seattle, but I live within 20 minutes of it. So if I were Seattle subreddit looking for friends, where do adults make friends here? Looking for new friends. Hey, look, this was not even a month ago, but people are constantly posting this in the different cities. You might have to go broader search, but like, look, this is a 20-year-old male from Seattle into pro wrestling, Star Wars, Marvel, music, smoking grass, playing video games. Oh, we have something in common. 20-year-old for me. Do I have any 20-year-old friends? Online, probably, like through YouTube and stuff like that. But in real life, I'm not sure who my youngest friends are. I think my youngest friends are probably at least in their mid-20s, like IRL. But online, like, I've made plenty of friends with like other content creators who are younger and just people in the YouTube, in the community, like PC building community. So This is just one example. What is that other neighborhood app? Let me see. This is it. And I know I'm sitting from a position of privilege because I already like have a bunch of like real life friends and online friends and stuff. So, um, it's not the same. Oh, Nextdoor. That's the other app. So there's this app called Nextdoor. I'm not gonna sign in, but like Nextdoor is like a neighborhood app where it's kind of like Facebook, but not Facebook. But you can post things in here like, hey, anybody into this kind of stuff? Are you looking to make? I'm new to the area. I'm looking to make friends. There is a let's see, online app to make friends, not dating. What was that one called? Was it like Boo or something? I saw one, Bumble for Friends. Like, I feel like with how powerful the internet is these days, there are ways for you to connect with people in your local community that are also looking for the same things too. Smoking grass on a budget? Yeah. Is there a rent-a-friend site? Not that I've seen. Patrick McGovern says, I'm 45. Most of the people I would consider friends these days are people I've known since I was a kid or people I served with in the army. Yeah, and I think I kind of understand the struggles that younger people these days are facing though, because people seem to be more chronically online nowadays. But I mean, back then there was like way less internet, and like you had to go out to make friends, and like play. I guess online gaming was on the rise even before I guess I was in high school, but it wasn't as easily accessible for some people when broadband internet wasn't as common and things like that. So, we have no place to make friends anymore. No third space aside from home and work. Maybe church for those who go there. No, but what I'm saying is like, tabletop game shop. There are usually places. Maybe I guess I'm again from a position of privilege. I live in, like, if I look around me, right? Nomad Games and Hobbies, Zulu's Board Game Cafe. There's a lot of places where nerdy people, like, just meet up and, like, either do tabletop games or D&D, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon trading card games. We don't have as many LAN centers anymore, so with computer gaming, it's kind of harder to find a physical space for that. But I'm sure these places, PC and video gamers, also go here, too. And it's just a good way to meet strangers and make friends. For me, after college, I made a lot of friends when I was doing martial arts and then also rock climbing. So those are also like even the gym, I guess. Maybe not the lifting gym. I never really made friends when I had a LA Fitness membership. But rock climbing was a huge one to make new friends because people are super friendly there. And then, when you join the martial arts gym, it's kind of like almost they're too friendly. So there's also Friend Finder on the dark web. I don't even know what that is. I don't know if I want to know what that is. I think COVID messed it up for kids. Yeah, I could see that. It must have been crazy for the different age groups that had to go through being stuck at home, remote learning. I feel like the younger they are, the more affected they were gonna be because in those early years of life, like that's where you develop those skills. Like your social skills. I feel like college students, the students who were already in college, were more equipped to handle transitioning to remote learning. Start a local Linux chapter or a makerspace. Yeah, there's those too. Good point. If you met someone on the dark web, I'd be concerned. But yeah, sorry, we kind of went on a tangent about how to make friends, but those are some of the options that I would be going through if I didn't have friends that were like. Even though I have friends now, if I ever moved away to a different state, to a brand new area, that's how I would explore making friends. You can also look up internet cafe. Yeah, so for up here, let me see. Land center. LAN center around me, I don't know if there's that many. LAN center. Game on Northwest. Oh, what is this? Indoor axe throwing and laser tag. See, that's not the same thing. So this is laser tag center. Safe Haven Wi-Fi cafe. What is this? Huh. There's not enough information. Really cool place to drop by, chill. They have all kinds of grabs from card games and tabletop. Oh, interesting. Safe Haven Wi-Fi cafe. Is there any other images? But in terms of like, you know, the traditional LAN centers you think about, we don't really have that. Let's Play Cafe is a video arcade. Yeah, gone are the days of those like internet LAN centers. Or, you know, LAN cafes. Here we go, Internet Gaming Cafe. What is this? This is in Canada, so this doesn't count. Sometimes, but Danny, no hate, but you sometimes look awkward when interviewing people. Do I look awkward? I feel like I'm very comfortable when I'm interviewing people. What do you mean by I look awkward? If I'm looking awkward, it might be because I'm purposely trying to look awkward to make them more comfortable. But I don't think I've ever felt like not in the zone when doing those interviews. I'm very comfortable, you know, doing those styles of videos. But I guess if you have a particular example where I looked awkward, does anyone else feel that way from those types of videos? I mean, it is, you're right. It is awkward to do in general, but I feel like in my own mind when I'm doing it, I'm comfortable. Like, I'm comfortable walking up to strangers, talking to them about their computers and asking them PC questions and stuff like that. So, I guess I would need an example of where you thought I felt awkward because I personally didn't feel awkward, and I think that's the most important thing. Who needs friends? Just find yourself a baddie. And that's even harder than finding friends, I believe. Like, I think finding friends is infinitely easier than finding yourself a baddie. When you interview them on a toilet, that's how you go to jail. You're trying to bring a camera and record in a bathroom. I always thought you seemed about as comfortable as you'd expect you to be. Yeah. Like, I would say if I was really uncomfortable, I would be tripping on my words a lot more, and sounding like very quiet and reserved. And, but I try to bring the energy when I'm talking to people just because, you know, I'm excited about talking to random strangers about their hardware. Okay. Stream submissions. Sir Toga P. Wait, sir, I need you guys to use the same names on YouTube and Discord if possible. But okay, let's see. Best motherboard GPU combo for a 1K build. Motherboard GPU combo. That's a weird way to ask this question, I feel, because motherboard and GPU, there's no compatibility, like, you know, requirements for the most part here compared to motherboard CPU and CPU GPU combo, which is more commonly asked. But $1,000 build, you're looking at a 9060 XT, 16 gigabyte, and some AM5 B650 B5 850 motherboard, and then a 70, like a 9600 9600X, sorry. 7600, 7600X, 9600, 7500F. Just the cheapest AM5 Ryzen 5 you can get your hands on. That in a 9060 XT, that's your $1,000 build. That is like the cookie cutter. You're going to have to get some good deals to do any better than that, because the gap in pricing for graphics cards past the 9060 XT, unless you go in the used market, then there's more flexibility like on pricing that's slightly more expensive than it. But if you look at new, the next graphics card is like, it goes from supposedly $350 to $500, $550, $600, and then that just busts out of your $1,000 budget. So, yeah. Do I like the 7900 GRE? Yeah, but I don't know if the pricing on those are like consistent or the availability is like normal right now. Is it? Like if I want to buy a 7900 GRE right now, this is refurbished. So the newest one, which is not worth it, is 760. For this one, let me get a refresher on their overall performance. What is this thing? It's like a 4070 Super 3080 Ti. It's worse than a 5070, but it's better than the 16 gig cards. I guess the refurbished price for this isn't that bad. It's about as expected, but you're pretty close to a 5070, which is about almost 10% better. And you can get a 5070 new right now for 500. So, and I mean, it has less VRAM, but it's an NVIDIA card that can do way cooler things in so many other departments. So, yeah. Power Color is okay brand. I think Power Color is great brand. Power Color has okay lineup, like cards in their lineup. Like the Fighter card is definitely their lowest end card. But I think the mid to high end Power Color cards are great. Nope, your name came up in Braythorn's stream yesterday for collab. Love stream budget builds. Oh, yeah. Braythorn. Sorry, Brayathorn. I love saying Braythorn, though, because that's just how I read it. But he's a super cool dude. We did I had him on stream before in the past. But in terms of like, it's really hard to collab. It is really hard to collab, aside from those remote collabs, which, yeah, I had him in previously for the hot takes one. But do I have a community Discord? I do. Information down in the description. Should be there. Walmart right now has a 7800 XRD 5060 Ti 16 gigs. That's such a weird pairing. Like, to put a 7800 X3D with such a mid-range card. $1,100. Okay. Let me see if I can find this thing just through Google search. Boom! Here it is, the Skytech. It's in the Montech King case, huh? Or is that the Montech King? Or something similar to it. It's a square box with a curved glass. Okay. Let's look at this thing. 32 gigs of RAM, 1 TB SSD. Dude, this is a good deal. Even without knowing the power supply, this is a good deal. Wow. I missed the unboxing of the Sapphire Mobile. The Sapphire Mobile, it was kind of expensive, so I'm not putting it into a build just yet, because the next build I have coming up, I kind of had to like be smart with the money spent, because it is going to have the 9070 that I just unboxed today is going to go into the upcoming build that I'm doing. But the Sapphire motherboard, I don't have a use for it yet. We bought it because Sapphire was recently in the news for releasing new motherboards, and I've never used a Sapphire motherboard before, nor have I seen the BIOS. So that was the main reason for buying that. And it's still going to be usable. It's not going to drop in value too much. So Rimu says in, what is CHF? CHF money. It's the Swiss franc. Okay, thank you for the $5 Swiss franc donate, not $5, the 5 Swiss franc the donations. I appreciate it. The GPU on this isn't the best, but anytime anyone like and I'm not saying you did this, right? But there are people who are gonna crap on this build because it has an NVIDIA card in it, or because it has a 5060 Ti in it, despite being 16 gigs. But my challenge to anyone who thinks this is a bad deal, find me something that is $1,100 or less that is this good or better, because you're not going to be able to, because most $1,100 builds aren't going to have that much better of a graphics card, pre-built that is, right? We're talking about pre-builts here. We don't compare DIY where you save a little bit of money on the build and labor fee. But this, just specs wise, not knowing the specific motherboard, because I don't think they say it, and not knowing the power supply, still you just know this build has the value there. Fine, you have to replace the power supply and put in another like $60, C tier at least power supply. It still makes it a better deal than anything else that exists out there. Wow. Is anyone looking for a pre-built? This is it right here for this price range. Plus it's Skytech, so that's extra points. Skytech, are they... I feel like people have had a shift in opinion on them. When Gamers Nexus reviewed them, and I'm not saying Gamers Nexus put them on the map, but I feel like after Gamers Nexus reviewed them and gave them high marks, you started seeing a lot more recommendations on the different PC subreddits and on YouTube comments and Twitter and things like that in the online spaces. But that was like a couple or a few years ago even that Gamers Nexus reviewed one of their systems and gave them high marks. Since then, I've been seeing some sentiment from online of people saying Skytech builds aren't that amazing. So it's like all things, right? Gamers Nexus reviewed one Skytech system and it happened to be good. But have you seen the Skytech website? They sell hundreds of different combinations of builds and stuff. And with all things, these are built by humans. So not all builds are going to come out as perfect as that one reviewer that reviewed it. But I guess... What are people saying about Skytech for the most part? But you can build PC for that price. I don't think you can, actually. A 7800 X3D is already a $350 chip. A 5060 Ti 16 gig is $430. You could say, oh, put a 9060 XT in it, 16 gig. Okay, that's a $350 chip. That's $700 already. 1 terabyte SSDs, SSD prices are going up. This is like $60, 32 gigs of RAM. What is this, like $70? Just a power supply that can power it, 70-ish bucks. A case. I think it's gonna come out closer to $1,250, $1,300. Oh yeah, the cooler. Don't forget the cooler. Like, I don't think you could build this for $1,100 on PC Part Picker right now. RAM is 5,200. People want 6,000. People who want 6,000 have never like actually tested between the two, because it's not as big of a deal as people think. You're bringing up like small talking points that for a pre-built at this price range for these core specs aren't even that relevant. I could put two PCs next to you, one at 5,200, one at 6,000. I would be willing to bet a lot of money you're not going to be able to tell the difference in gameplay between the two if I turned off the measurements. And I'm not saying this is a perfect build. I'm saying for a pre-built, you're going to have a hard time beating this. And if you want a DIY, sure, you could pick your own motherboard, you could pick your own power supply, you could pick your own faster RAM, but you're also gonna come in above 1,100. That's the thing. Like, if someone annoying kept asking what PC I should get, I would say the Skytech King 95 desktop. Yeah. Oh no, I would recommend this to even not annoying people. There are perfectly reasonable people who don't know about PCs and need a quick, reference for what to buy. And this seems like a pretty safe, good value bet. This has 46 ratings too at 4.8. I don't know how much I put value into Walmart star ratings, but I mean, at least it's not bad, right? And I'm pretty sure Walmart has a pretty good return policy. And most people have Walmarts locally to them, so you could I think you could return this in store should anything go wrong within the first like 30 days. But this is sold through Skytech as a third party, I believe. Oh no, sold and shipped by Walmart. Interesting, huh? But assembled by Skytech. Ships in the manufacturer's original packaging. Oh, okay, so I guess Skytech is just selling for Walmart to sell through their account and not through like a third party Skytech account. Interesting. It's not bad for a turnkey pre-built. I think it's actually really good for a turnkey pre-built. Because again, if we're going to call this not bad, which to me sounds kind of negative, right? It's not bad. Then what about it? Where does not bad fall in the like the list of like amazing, excellent, good, above average, average? Like where's not bad all the way down to like horrible value? Like where's not bad fall? Is it above or below average? Not bad sounds like a little bit below average or average. Not bad for me is great. For you it's great. Yeah, so that I think that's the thing that like I guess different people have different definitions of it. And when I hear not bad, I'm like, are you crazy? This is good. This is better than not bad. Yeah. That seems like the better of the pre-built PCs from a value point. Anyone? See, the only other one that we've seen that comes even close in value is Cost Plus Gaming, right? But let's see what they have for $1,100. Because last time I was really impressed by their offering. M1 Essentials, M1 Starter, no. Okay, interesting. So we would have to start with something like the M1 Essentials. And then do upgrades to bring it up to $1,100. So this already comes with 5600, 16 gigs, upgradable to 32. So already to upgrade it, so this has a i5 14400 with the 5068 gig, and then 16 gigs. Interesting. The storage and RAM they do it together. You can't individually configure it, which is fine. So, but you would have to go to 2 terabyte. And then 16, no, where's the 30? Oh, here we go. 32 gigs, and we'll keep the 1 terabyte, okay? Now we're at 974, which isn't that bad of an increase. But we want to get the 5060 Ti 16 gigs. It's already past $1,100. And you have a way crappier CPU. But I don't think this is that bad of value. This is not bad. Where's the 9060 XT? Here we go. So if you did a 9060 XT version of this build, it's a little bit over $1,000, but you're still stuck with a 14th gen i5 with a dead socket. Not dead, but like you're not gonna be. It's not gonna have the same longevity as AM5 does. You're much more limited. Plus, I don't know how people still feel about 14th gen higher end chips if you were to upgrade this down the line, killing themselves. I mean, you get the i7 though, and it's a B700 board, which is whatever. You don't need to overclock. It's already $1,200. Yeah, the other build, Skytech, I think beats it. Intel is trash as well. I don't think Intel is as bad as people say it is. But the price has to make sense. Like, if it's going to be the same performance and the same price as an AMD one, I'm going to opt towards AMD. But if it's like a good discount and it's like a decent amount cheaper, I would still consider Intel chips. Do I think an included mouse and keyboard is important to a pre-built PC? Not really, because they're usually really garbage tier, like the cheapest things you can find on Amazon. Like, let's look for keyboard and mouse combo. And I'm saying usually, right? I don't know of every single one that is included. But let's put gaming keyboard and mouse combo. Like this. Oh, this is a Red Dragon one. I actually like Red Dragon, so I feel bad talking snack about them. But most of the stuff that you get included with some of these pre-builts, like from Costco or Walmart or, you know, from some of these companies, CyberPower, iBuyPower, they're usually even worse quality than this stuff. Oh, this is a 2-pack. Oh, so you get a 2-pack. So that's 2 mice, I think, right? Or, is this actually a 2-pack, or do they mean mouse and keyboard counts as the 2? But you guys have seen this. Amazon is littered with, like, the cheapest peripherals you can find. This is the stuff that is typically bundled with the pre-built. And I guess if you are really pinching pennies, you could use this for a while. But if you're spending $1,000 on a PC, getting slightly better peripherals isn't that much more expensive. You can get a decent gaming mouse for like $30 and a keyboard for like $30 to $40 by themselves. So an extra $60. I like the Red Dragon mouse. I actually used that Red Dragon mouse for the earlier parts of my channel. This one right here. Yeah, that mouse, if you look at my early setup videos, this is what I had. I think it's called the Red Dragon Centriforce mouse. You can put weights in it and everything. I used that mouse for a few years, actually. Okay, let me see. Okay. I'm a cheap bastard. I've never spent more than $40 for a case. The Enermax Grace Mesh. Let's take a look at this thing. Wow, that's even cheaper than me. Grace Mesh. I'm using for my main build was about $35. I'm using Fantex G300A for my HTPC. Oh man. I mean, this case has pretty much the bare minimum. It surrounds your components. It has a power button. It has some front I/O to plug in headphones and USB and whatever the heck you need. It has some fans to promote airflow. Like, at the end of the day, temperatures for most mid to low and even some high-end components aren't gonna be like too crazy bad in a case like this, so long as you have air moving through it. So I mean, yeah, like look, Patrick is a 45-year-old Army veteran man, right? He does not care what people of the internet think of what his build looks like. He just cares how it performs. So why spend more on a case when this does the job just fine? I totally get where you're coming from, even though at the same time I've been known to have chosen some aesthetic cases. But I get where you're coming from. Your build is up on the build showcase. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Patrick, wait. Search. What name are you under, Patrick? It did not come up during my search. Oh, Jade. Nope, okay, is this not working? Jade, there it is. Oh, I see it. Boom, we can jump to it. Okay, here's your gaming rig. And you can't even tell, looking at it. Look at these screens, my goodness. 5 screens? What are you, trading crypto? So you got one for Discord, got one for media, like just watching video, got one for your adrenaline software to look at what your stuff's running at. You got an empty one, and then you've got just vertical one that you split horizontally for the browser, for like reading news and things like that. Okay, and let's look at the build. And you got some plants around it and stuff. Ooh, you got two of these Team Group RGB 2.5-inch SSDs with the big RGB panel on them. Yeah, I mean, but though you do, did you talking about not caring about aesthetics? I put those words in your mouth, but you got streamers in here. That, to me, that is a little bit surprising, having the cheapest case ever, but then having like $70, potentially, I don't know which streamers these are, but these RGB extension cables. You got a huge sale, makes sense. The gooning is crazy. No one else is going to use your PC besides you. That is a good point. There's no need to impress anybody on the internet. You're just going to use it, which is why I put my case, or I put mine in a case with a handle that I don't think my PC looks like particularly nice at all. It's pretty simple, but for me, the biggest thing, small form factor, handle. And inside, like, I guess I have some RGB, but for the most part, yeah, my build it has a big display so I can see the temperatures and stuff. But other than that, not the nicest looking thing in the world. And this is the 5800 X3D 9070 rig, which is very solid specs. Very, very solid specs. I'm not going to lie, I wanted the height Y70 just because of the way it looked. I'm not a fan of the looks of this, everybody knows that, but even if it wasn't for the looks, I feel like the function of it was not the greatest. Just that, I think, is my biggest complaint, the graphics card mounting, having to go through a riser. I think it is. A case locking you into the orientation of your graphics card in the most, like, given how big graphics cards are getting, every time I've built a PC for someone in the height Y70, because of how expensive the height Y70 is, it makes sense that they're going for high-end hardware, which means you're going to get bigger graphics card, which means you're going to be putting those fans up against the glass and starving it of airflow. So, yeah, that is my biggest gripe with the case. Even if we ignore the fact that I don't think it looks that nice, or the high price tag, that vertical mount, I hate it. Have you heard of Dark Flash? They have some decent stuff. Yeah. I just built my DIY home server, which is sitting right over there, in a Dark Flash case. Oh, you can't really see it, but yeah. I'm trying to get that video out this weekend. But my goodness, there's so much to talk about when it comes to building your own home server. I'm trying to like condense the script to make it not a 30-minute video. Dark Flash. The Dark Flash fans are some of the most dirt cheap, highly rated fans, I think, on Amazon. I think they're like $9 for a pack of 3. Where are those Dark Flash fans? I mean, they have some of the nice ones that click together. Dark Flash. Where are they? Oh, am I thinking Dark Rock? Whoops. Nope, I confused. Yep, never mind. Sorry. So you're talking about Dark Flash. I'm thinking Dark Rock. Actually, dark flash fans, PC fans. Yeah, so isn't this the one that Peckish or someone else had before? They're kind of like they're like way more affordable Lee and Lee unit fans. Does Dark Rock have something similar though, or no? No, Dark Rock has other stuff that's not clicked together. And they have reverse ones? Yeah. It's funny, even when I type in Dark Flash PC fans up here, it comes up with Dark Rock. Look forward to your server build video. I'm trying to get rid of my Dropbox Pro account and serve my own files. I have a build together, just not sure what operating system I have to use. Yeah. For mine, it's gonna be pretty high level stuff. I didn't want it to make it a tutorial because I'm not an expert in it. I went with Unraid. Mainly because of the flexibility in mixing and matching drive sizes and the ability to pop one in or take one out pretty seamlessly. It's pretty hardware independent. That is, like, I could turn off the server, switch the motherboard, CPU, RAM, and then plug everything back in, and then boot it back up, and it'll just get back into my server as if nothing happened. Like, it pretty easily. And I think whether you like single or dual parity, it gives you like a way to maximize your storage while giving you some redundancy in the case of hardware failures. The best. It does cost money though. I think it starts at $50 and they have plans up to like whatever, but they're lifetime licenses. But if you want updates and stuff, you might want to buy more expensive plans compared to like TrueNAS. But just comparing the two, Unraid was like hands down seemed like the best option for me, who the biggest concern was maximizing the storage capacity I had at the most budget friendly way. Did Danny get the OEMs? Yes, I did, Reluctant Hero. I did get it. And I unboxed it. It's actually right here. It is right here. I unboxed it earlier, and it came pretty much brand new. It had some little scuffs on it that I was able to wipe away, but it is here with the plastic wrap and all. So it did come in the most plainest of brown box OEM in the world. No fancy pictures or anything there. No extra like cables or like splitters or anything, that sometimes comes with graphics cards. Nothing wrong with the 30-minute server video. I think people will get bored though. And because my typical audience isn't server and home lab people, but it's gaming PC people, I don't want the video to be dead in the water by having it too long and losing their interest. But we'll see how it does. It's going to be my first server related video on the channel ever because for the people who don't know, like, I did not care at all on the home lab and server, like home server side of things. I'm mainly like a consumer PC, gaming PC focused content creator, and I just, don't have enough time to split my attention to the rabbit hole that is home server stuff. But because of the necessity to increase my storage space, I started going a little bit down the rabbit hole, but I'm still pretty service level with it. I just wanted to share my experience with it, just because, it is something that I built specifically because all the videos that I have from the channel exceeded my existing storage. So how good are you at overclocker? Not good at all. I typically I don't like heavily overclock systems. I don't have the patience to tweak like settings a little bit, test for stability, potentially crash. If the crash doesn't recover in the reboot, then you have to like clear CMOS and then reset everything and then go in and like fine tune. I just don't have the patience for that. For like 1, 2, 3% gains. Um, to me, I don't have that much free time on my hands, unfortunately. Servers now, handheld next, nah. We'll see how much I do beyond the, because I'm just using it for a storage server. I'm not sure if I'm gonna run like any virtual machines or do anything. I don't think I'll ever run Plex stuff because I don't have a huge collection of like movies and TV shows and stuff. I don't download. Yeah, yes, exactly. I have limited time. The primary gaming PC stuff and YouTube channel takes a lot of my time, and then the wife and kids take a lot of time. There's only so much time in the world. I will do server stuff as it's needed. Let's just say that. But I'm not gonna all of a sudden convert to like a server based channel because I'm just not knowledgeable on it. This is like a newbie trying to tackle building their own home server for the, and it was actually very approachable, and you'll see throughout the video. Like, to be honest, getting into it, I was kind of intimidated because every time you see people with the home servers and stuff, like when it boots up, there's like a whole bunch of, like command line code looking things booting up, whatever, whatever OS that you end up using, and then potentially having to change like any of the settings to work with your network, things like that. But it was actually very turnkey. I didn't really run into any issues at all. What up, Techie Tech? You're late. That's 2 demerits. What's up? It took me a few days to get my overclock settings right. How many hours is that though? Because spending a day on it could be spending like a couple hours a day or spending a whole 8 hours a day. I just got scammed with fake bills, lost $300. What'd you sell? So you sold something for $300 and got fake bills? How good were these fake bills? I feel like fake bills typically feel either like stiffer or they don't feel like real money. Like even from watching videos of people who got fake bills, you can like visually see, even through video, not touching it in your hands. But maybe you got scammed off some really good fake bills. Wow. Sorry to hear that. That, like, as much as I usually advocate for like in-person meetups and selling and stuff because you can't get scammed with like reversals and digital payments and stuff like that. I mean, you can still get scammed IRL face to face with fake bills, though. I'm really curious of the quality of those. 20 hours in total. I had to clear CMOS so many times. Yeah, that's, to me, like, that is not fun. I understand for some people that is like really fun to do, to try to push the limits of their system, to tinker around and things like that. But, you have to choose what you spend your free time on. So, I'm not spending my time clearing CMOS a million times to try to tune something. I usually only accept Zelle for that reason. I don't think everybody has Zelle though, is the unfortunate thing. Like not everybody, I guess, does every major banking institution in the US use Zelle? But even if they had one, they might not trust it for some reason. Like, some people are just old fashioned, they just want to do cash. And I've happily taken cash plenty of times, but I've never gotten scammed on fake bills. Hello, Nathaniel. Just need recommendation for ITX build for my wife to be used for only for office works. Any CPU recommendation? Just for office work? What's the cheapest CPU you can get? And then you could probably go with integrated graphics too, right? I mean, I feel like i5, like 12400s. How much are these things? You can buy. Ah, no. But this one is the F. What is the cheap? I feel like Intel chips are perfect for, for something like that. For a small system, just for office work. But I don't know which one would be the best deal right now. If you can buy one used, yeah, the F1s, unless you have a graphics card, like a cheap graphics card you can throw in there. Like the 12400F, like look at this, $95. What's Ryzen 7600 going for? Yeah, these are kind of, what the heck is up with the pricing, the price difference between AMD and Nvidia right now? Like, as good as AMD is, for an office PC, you don't need that much compute. Yeah, I'm thinking 12400 non-F, but maybe on eBay, because 12400 non-F is $160 here, which I don't think it is worth it. Yeah, what the heck? The price is... Oh, 12100, but this is still kind of pricey for what it is. You can buy a used one with integrated graphics. It might be doable for $100. I would use Xeon chips, affordable and durable. I don't know if I would recommend Xeon chips. Like, which one specifically? And you're talking about like an AliExpress special with an AliExpress special motherboard. Yeah, for office use. And let's assume they want actual full compatibility with Windows 11 for, you know, for the security features and stuff. So no workarounds for, you know, using the Rufus tool to get around the secure boot and TPM stuff. So then you can't use stuff that's super old and cheap, like what most people like to do with the Xeons. So it has to be modern enough to support Windows 11. And then, yeah, like, what are we talking about price-wise, and what chip and motherboard are you specifically thinking of? Because for something that is going into somebody's like wife's computer and not someone who's okay with troubleshooting and tinkering with PCs and stuff like that, I would say just go for the simple, you know, kind of more recent Intel with integrated graphics and just be done. Yeah, you can install Windows 11 on some of those older, those cheap Xeon, like X99 boards and CPUs, but I don't know long term if that's gonna always be a thing. And I still don't fully understand the implications of, you know, or the workarounds for the secure boot and TPM stuff. Like, what is the actual security risks and long term, like, you know, I guess dangers of doing the workaround? Like, is your system more vulnerable? Are they gonna, in of some potential Windows 11 update down the line, gonna axe that and it's not gonna work anymore? So these are all things you have to consider. Yeah, I think 13th, 14th gen i5s are fine. I don't think there's much concern with them. But the pricing, like, look at this, 13400 non-F, $200. Actually, I guess, how much are 5600 Gs? These are 117, if you don't mind going AM4. Yeah, I guess, do you really need it to be ITX? If you go micro ATX, you can get some pretty small cases, and it's like way cheaper on the power supply and on the board. See, micro ATX case. There's some, okay, not this one, but there are cases that are really close to ITX sized, at least slightly larger ITX ones that do support micro ATX. Um, I guess AliExpress would be the place to find them because on Newegg they're stupid expensive. Also, wait, mini PCs, would that not be an option? Because some of these mini PCs have some pretty powerful chips in them. Like, what does this thing have? A Ryzen 7 5825U, 16 gigs of RAM, already half terabyte SSD. It has a Vega, is this Vega 8 graphics? And you want tiny and super low power consumption. And then what's the rear IO? Unless you already bought some of the parts. Like, this sounds like, and there's ones I think even cheaper than this. They just get hot. I mean, are we really too concerned? Like, how hot? I don't think they get hot beyond, the safe thermal limits of the chip. And who cares if it gets hot in terms of as long as it doesn't throttle. And I don't think this thing is gonna output enough heat to like change the temperature of a room. Um, Yeah, that's it. Yeah, when anytime someone approaches me like, "What's a good PC? What's a good laptop?" Like you got to give me a price point. Without knowing a price point, we can't start anything. We can't start talking about anything. But yeah, these mini PCs, some of them are pretty impressive. Let me see what other versions they have out there. Um, this one's the 6800H. 32 gigs of, wait, what did the other one have? That one had 16 gigs of RAM, but this one's a little bit more expensive, down from 400 bucks. 32 gigs of RAM, half terabyte SSD. Yeah, I'm thinking one of these. Building an ITX system for under 300 bucks just seems kind of difficult to do, given that any CPU you want to throw in there, unless you're going for like a few generations old, it's like a 30-year budget already. There's not many CPUs unless you go like the cheap Xeon stuff that the other person was in chat was talking about. But I don't know if I would recommend that. You want it to not be power hungry because you want it to be on a UPS. So yeah, that makes sense because you're gonna drain that UPS battery super quick if it's power hungry. Again, I think these mini PCs are. I mean, they have the like the H and U lineup of CPUs in them that are usually super efficient. But did you say anything about no on the mini PCs? And it's not like these mini PCs can't game, because they do have integrated graphics and they can handle like indie and older titles well enough, and like potato games like League of Legends. But yeah, I mean, how much like what is the cheapest ITX case cost before choosing your CPU? I mean, you need to, I guess, find out how much you're spending on everything except for the motherboard and CPU. So like, how much is the case that you found? How much is the RAM? How much is the SSD you're throwing in there? All that. Like, what are you at in your budget right now? Sticking under 300 just seems pretty difficult, given ITX motherboard and ITX power supply, or SFX power supply. Yeah. I would think mini PC. These things are kind of impressive. I would love to do some mini PC content, but I don't know how the viewers would take it. Like, are people interested in me taking these and then pushing them to try to pretend like they're gaming PCs? I don't know how many other channels really do that, and how well they do, if so. But I mean, because yeah, obviously these things are you would be fine for watching YouTube and for browsing the web and like Microsoft Office and stuff. But like, bro, these have graphics, integrated graphics in them, and pretty capable CPUs. Mini PC with external PCIe. The only thing about the external PCIe, or like what's that new connector that came out recently about, or like doing Thunderbolt and stuff? It's like, bro, the enclosure and the graphics card and the power supply you have to attach to that. It's like, you, at that point you're at the cost of a PC. Though I guess it gives you the modularity to take it apart and only take this tiny thing with you if you need to travel. But for like a permanent desk setup, yeah, it doesn't make sense to grab one of these with an external dock because it adds up quick, the cost. Oculink, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the only issue. It's kind of like a laptop, right? Because these have proprietary motherboards, so it's not like, I don't know though. At their cost, hmm. I mean, what are the warranty? Let me look at the warranty on these things because like lifetime after sales service, and B-Link's been around for a while, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it if you pick like a company that's kind of well known and didn't just pop up out of nowhere. There's less of a risk of them going out of business and your warranty meaning nothing. But what is the warranty on this thing? 1 year. So this has a one lifetime technical support, but the warranty looks to be 1 year. Um, hmm, that's is this what people feel like? I guess like when I bought a laptop, I was never thinking like, oh, if the motherboard on this thing or the main board on this thing goes out, I'm screwed because with laptops, the cost to replace and repair or to repair like the main board is usually not worth it. It's so much of a percentage of the cost of the laptop itself, unless you got like a really high end one. But for most people who are like pretty stick to like $1,000 or less laptop, like bro, I'm not trying to pay $400 for a replacement part and for a repair shop to fix my $1,000 laptop. But it's tough because yeah, for the ITX route, I don't know what's eBay got 5600G. I mean, you can go with 3400G. How much are these things going for? $60. That's actually not bad. For office use, this will be fine. 3400G right here, $43. It's a CPU. Uh, shouldn't be problematic in terms of longevity. CPUs are pretty resilient. How much is a 5600G used though? These are going for parts only. Parts only. Dang, look at this. Yeah, 5600G are like over $100 even in the used market. That sucks. So it's up to you. It seems like 3400G, I would say, given, yeah, this is actually, look at this one. This is a recycling seller. Yeah, this one's $40 or best offer. Clean, tested, fully functional. We use minis in our office at work, but they're 8th gen Intel, so they're getting pretty dated. Oh yeah, 8th gen. That, yeah, those are getting pretty old. But I guess what do you use them for in your office, and when do you start feeling the slowness kick in? MFs be mother effers be buying gaming laptops and never do maintenance on them and get mad when they overheat into $3,000 paperweights. Yeah, it's pretty easy to take off the panel and just blow it out every few months. Arian Loud says, "Hey Nob, want to say hi? All right, just want to say big fan. Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it." Mini PCs and TV menu from Popeyes and Crunchyroll equal heaven. These mini PCs can turn into living room media PCs that plays all digital backed up shows and movies plus some multiplayer games. Yeah, they can. But I understand the hesitancy due to the repairability and the replaceability of parts. But I feel like for under $300, like, if you get like 3-4 years out of it, I guess in terms of e-waste thing, that's a bad way to look at it. But something like this isn't meant to last like 10 years. I don't know what I would say my expectations out of something like this is. Speaking of maintenance, probably time for me to clean the fans in my gaming laptop. You should, because those fans, they're pretty low profile and cake or dust gets caked on there super easily. Thanks for the recommendations. Appreciate it. We're looking at both mini PC and micro ATX with SFX case. It will mostly be for online teaching, so I guess I'm going to generation older will also work fine. Oh yeah, online teaching. So you're just gonna have to run whatever what is the most common online like meeting thing? Or maybe the school has specifically its own program. But yeah, it's just like operating a webcam, whatever Google Meet or the equivalent of it, Zoom calls. So it shouldn't be too bad or too intensive. Yeah. Class in, okay. I imagine that shouldn't be too crazy. I don't imagine a lot of teachers who have to use these kinds of software having like the most like crazy, up to date performing PCs. Is a 10600K outdated for 1440p gaming? I wouldn't really think so. I think 10600K would still be viable. I would need let's take a look. Let's take a look at 10600K Battlefield 6 1440p. Can I find a video on that? Here it is. And this was 1 month ago, so this is like the beta. I cannot see those metrics at all. So they're getting over 100 FPS. They're not showing the 1% lows, which is probably where it's going to matter when you're using slightly older hardware. They're playing at Ultra with... Wait, what? Balance with Ultra? What is this? The FSR on or something? But like, this Battlefield is a modern, very modern game. Pretty difficult to run. And they're running it paired with, 2-generational graphics card, and it looks like is this an overclock? But either way, like, and is this 1440p? Do they say? Let me go back to the menu. Yeah, so they are playing. Oh, they're playing ultra wide. Wait, where's the resolution? Yeah, so they're playing at ultra wide. So let me see if I can find one, but. RX 460. This is 4 years ago, Battlefield 5. Yeah, it's starting to get to the point where it's kind of harder to find benchmarks for older hardware like that. But I don't think it'll be a problem. Like, if this is anything to go by, you're still going to be, for a game like a AAA, like Battlefield, it's still going to be pretty GPU bound. Thoughts on 7500F for gaming? Thanks for the $3 super chat, Hidden Leaf Collectors. Very good. My only issue with the 7500F is their prices have gone up. I don't... Let me see. Last I checked, I thought they were like almost more worth it to buy it in the US. So these things used to be like $120. 7500F. Yeah, see, AliExpress has become, after the tariffs, have become such a garbage mess. But 7500F, like, where is it even on this list? Come on. Hello, where's my search? Okay, here it is, 7500F. The cheapest 7500F is not even on this page at all, is it? Oh, there's 267. Yeah, like, I think buying it from Amazon is cheaper. So 7500F, I love it, but I loved it at the lower, oh no, it's $200 here. Like, what? If you already have it, then good. But I assumed that you're asking like you're gonna pick it up. It's kind of hard to find one nowadays because I don't know what the heck happened. Let me see if I can. Yeah, see, oh, here it is, $166. That's less of a value proposition when you can just buy like a 9600X or 7600 for around the same price in the US. Yeah, the cheapest 7500F now is almost $170. Oh my god, we got P. Diddy in the chat, and I'm invited to the next party. Oh snap. Have I made it? I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to make light of the whole P. Diddy situation, but I haven't even been following that case. There's so much going on in the US, in the world. It's just like so much craziness happening back to back to back to back that you forget about the craziness that happened not even like a year ago, just because your mind can only process and handle so many things at once. But yeah, I don't even know what the heck's going on with the whole Diddy case and trial. But yeah, regarding the 7500F though, let's see. Look, you're gonna pay 166 and wait how long to get this thing from AliExpress when you can get a 7600X and it has integrated graphics and it's, you know, 2 steps up because from 7500F to 7600 to 7600X. Like, there's no point in getting the 7500F anymore because this thing exists for this price. And we have Prime Fall Day deals or whatever coming in 2 weeks. October 7th and 8th is Amazon Prime deals week again. And I think Newegg might have a competing fantastic thing that week as well. So there might be some better deals on processors and stuff. Not crazy amazing, but you know, $10, $15, $20 off in a couple of weeks, so it might be worth waiting. Yeah, I know. I don't want to make it to that kind of party. I was just kidding. Good budget AM4 CPUs. I like the 5600s and 5600Xs. I think they can go well with a 9060 XT 16 gigabyte. 9060 XT 16 gigs isn't like the most crazy powerful graphics card in the world. I think it can pair well with a 5600 or 5700, even 5700X, 5800X. You don't have to put an X3D chip with it. Putting an X3D chip with it would be putting a $300, like a $350 CPU with a $350 graphics card, which I generally think is not that good of balance because you're kind of overspending on the CPU. Like typically you want to, I think, I don't have a rule of thumb, but like spending 2 to 3 times the amount on a graphics card compared to your CPU, like that ratio works out fine. When I see someone spend the exact same amount on their CPU as their graphics card, I'm like, wait up. I think you could have squeezed out more performance by getting a cheaper CPU and a better GPU for gaming purposes anyways. But yeah, for AM4, I'm thinking anything like 5600 and up, you should be fine with. Is the 9060 XT 16 gigs better than the 5060 Ti 16 gig? It's not. It's just better value. So let's see. 9060 16 gigabyte XT. So we just have to look at their prices versus their performance relative to each other, right? So 1560 Ti 5060 Ti 16 gig. So Tech Power Up has it 5% faster, but I thought it was a bigger gap than that. Let me see what Hardware Unboxed has. You always want to look at multiple sources. But let's see. Where is the... We'll look at 1440p performance too because since we care about... where is ray tracing? Don't care about that actually. 16 game average at 1440p. Go back. 1440p 16 game average, okay? So... wait, did the 9060 XT, was that afterwards? Whoops. Now I gotta look at the 9060 XT review by Hardware Unboxed. I thought it was more than 5% though. Here we go. Where is them? Here we go. So 1440p. So here, for 1080p, they have it from, what, 98 to 104? That's like 7-ish%, right? But 1440p, where... oh, they have it even closer than 5%. And the price difference is... Let's see. What is the cheapest 9060 XT going for right now? 16 gigabytes. Because the 5060 Ti, I think they've been discounted recently. And we'll look at that too. So 9060 Ti, cheapest one. You can actually get the 2-fan Power Color Reaper card for $350 now. But then after that, they're all kind of way more, a little bit more expensive. So $350 versus... $430. Okay, never mind. I guess it was just the 5070s and 5070 Ti's that took a price drop for $430 versus $350. So that's about a 20% difference in price, right? Because it's 70. No, a little bit more than that. Wait, no. Yeah, that's an $80 price difference. Which is a little bit more than 20% more for not 20% more performance, but it's that NVIDIA tax and NVIDIA suite of software. So, I can see people having a reason for buying the NVIDIA card, the 5060 Ti, and paying that premium for it. Not everyone just only cares about raster gaming performance. Some people do other workloads that NVIDIA just excels at better. The PNY at Walmart. Oh yeah, the Walmart's. Yes. This is where the build the PC sales stuff has been popping up. So at this price, I like these kind of plain black cards too. PNY cards are like, it's pretty simple, but I have no problems with that for a stealth black build. So between these two, I would lean towards the NVIDIA card for a $20 price difference. $350 versus, oh no, $30 price difference, sorry, versus $380. I think I would lean towards NVIDIA. Even if they're within 5% of each other, depending on which reviews you watch. As a fun side note, PNY cards have some of the greatest selection of options for custom loop water blocks. That is a very fun side note because, to me, custom loop water blocks are some of the, unless you're super into it and enthusiast about it, I think they're kind of a waste of money. Maybe not just kind of, they're a lot of a waste of money. The value of your card goes down when you stick a water block on it if you try to sell it and you can't put back on the original cooler. But not only that, the water blocks themselves are typically, I don't know, like hundreds of dollars, right? I don't know what the cheapest water block for a modern day graphics card is, but they're typically not under $100. So for just some slight benefit, it's definitely for the enthusiastic part of custom loops and stuff, but not the value play. Do I have a budget? Honestly, dude, the monitor space is crazy. I was actually looking for a replacement monitor recently, but 1440p, 27-inch. If we just try to look at how many monitors fall into this category, here's MSI, ViewSonic, and they're all like, so like 140, 150, 160 for AOC. You could scroll down and to the next page for so long, and there's so many different options. There's some really expensive ones, but there's a lot of options under $200. I honestly cannot give you a recommendation. And all of them have very high stars on Amazon, and half the time you try to look up monitor reviews, there's none out there because there's way too many product SKUs for people to even keep up with doing reviews on, and monitor reviews are kind of boring as hell, right? When I pick a monitor, my approach is it's the budget, which you've already set to at least $200, and then the specs that the manufacturer gives me, because it's just way too hard to verify. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot of monitor reviewers out there compared to other hardware. So, and I feel like a lot of the times the monitor reviewers, they review the expensive stuff, which it goes back to my whole sentiment of why are people reviewing the expensive things that we know are going to perform generally well? What people need reviews of are the cheaper things that are more questionable to see if they actually live up to the specs that the manufacturers claim on these. But I go for all right, the resolution, whatever refresh rate I want. And then for me, color is kind of important as a content creator. So I usually try to look for IPS with good sRGB accuracy and things like that. But I can't give a monitor recommendation, to be honest. There's too much, and I haven't owned all these monitors and used them side by side, and that would be impossible to do. But look at this Sansui 27-inch IPS. What do they claim? It's got base amount of 120% sRGB, which means it's just oversaturated. But yeah, $135. Here's another one. I like KTC as a brand though. I have used their monitors. And KTC, I feel like I've seen a lot of people actually do reviews on these ones. This one's only 100 hertz, but if it's going for your wife's that same PC you're trying to plan for, um, like in term and $20 off, bro. This becomes a $115 1440p. It's not the highest refresh rate, but depending on if you need it or not, like yeah. What is the KTC monitors are crap. Yeah, but if it's for his wife who's teaching, which I don't know if it is or not, who's doing the online teaching thing, then I think you value like the budget over anything else. But if it's for like him using for gaming and stuff like that, then yeah, you might want to be more considerate about that. But oh, it's going for your gaming PC. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna want to again. Unfortunately, there's way too many monitors out there. I know Hardware Unbox. Don't they have what's their monitor channel called? Monitors Unbox. Yes. Are they still actively posting here? Oh yeah, they are. I think Tim does all of it. But okay, what are the price ranges of some of these monitors? I'm just gonna pick a random one. Here's a 1440p one. So here's a 40-minute review they did on this monitor. It's an ROG Strix monitor. Come on, we know this thing's not gonna be cheap, right? Brother. Wait, this is a 1440p monitor? No, because it's OLED. Let me pick a different one. Oh, here's a $300. Okay, do they have more budget ones though? The Monitors Unboxed does them really extensive. Like they actually have hardware that they stick on the monitor that actually measures like refresh rate and latency and things like that. So you could try to find a monitor from their backlog of videos. My concern is that monitors are released at such a rapid pace that I feel like sometimes even less than a year later, a product SKU is already gone and it's replaced by another one. Like, have you ever tried to look for a monitor that you purchased a year or 2, 3 years ago and it just doesn't exist for sale anymore, but there's something that's kind of similar to it available now? I feel like they have very high turnover rates. Here's a budget mini LED Xiaomi Pro 27i, but what's their definition of budget? So they have a link for it right here, Amazon. Oh no. Yeah, so I mean, this is a 27-inch 1440p for close to $400. Like, I don't know. To me, that's kind of pricey. You have a 77-inch LG C2 OLED. I mean, isn't that just gonna be couch gaming? It just depends on if you're okay with sitting super far away because this thing is gigantic. If you're okay with sitting on the couch and setting up a mini table for your mouse and keyboard, or you're just playing a controller, it's no different than console gaming. But yeah, that's a personal preference kind of thing. Ratings. I've actually not checked out a ton. Oh, what the heck? What's going on here? Why did this open a new window? Let's check out their monitors. Do they sort by price too? Because that would be monitor review list. Okay. Price. No, you can't sort by price. But they have a ton of reviews. Let's look at the last updated date. See price at Amazon. Okay, $1,000 monitors. I'm just gonna click a bunch of these. Let's see what kind of monitors they're reviewing. 435, 769, 329. Because like under $200, you're in like budget territory, of course. And I don't like I was kind of guessing. Not a lot of companies are. Oh, here's an AOC one that's kind of cheap, but still $300. Like not a lot of companies or not a lot of review outlets checking out the cheap stuff. What's up, love? Oh my God, it's already 7:30. How has it been 2.5 hours already? Okay, we gotta wrap up. We gotta wrap up, y'all. All right, take care. In decline. I'm gonna spend the last like 5 or so minutes just hanging out in chat, answering questions, and just chilling. Is better for RAM speed or capacity? I have 3,000 megahertz, but upgrading to 3,600 worth. I think people overemphasize the importance, and you don't even have like that slow of memory speeds. Like if you were running like 2133, 2400, or 2666 or something, maybe from 3,000 to 3,600, I don't think you're gonna notice a difference. It's gonna depend on what the rest of your hardware is. Like people are gonna say, but it's gonna improve your 1% lows by a little bit, and it's gonna improve your average FPS by like a few percent. To me, that's not worth spending on a whole nother kit of RAM for. But also, if you have like a lower end CPU, you're getting like bad stuttering and 1% lows from other parts of your computer that's not RAM related. 3,000, it's a little bit slower than what people would consider. Like, you know, I think people are like 3,200 and 3,600 is kind of like the sweet spot for price to performance on DDR4. 3,000 is just slightly slower than that. I don't know what the CL is on this, but let's just assume it's something reasonable. I don't think it's worth it. What's for dinner? Leftover Dominoes. Yes, time flies when you're having fun. I hope you guys had fun too. Every time I have to like end stream, do you guys feel the same way, or is it just a me thing? Are you like, oh wow, it has already been 2.5 hours. I didn't even realize that. Because yeah, for me, when I don't look at the clock and we're just like flying through the stream, doing, you know, talking, looking things up as people are asking questions, I don't know where the time goes. Like, just overclock it to 3,600? Yeah, but if they have a kit that was only rated for 3,000, it might be pretty difficult. Plus, like, tuning RAM is annoying. We're talking about overclocking earlier with, like, resetting CMOS and, like, you know, system stability crashing and constantly resetting, changing one parameter at a time. Overclocking RAM is along the same lines of that. Like, sure, if you want to and you find it fun to spend a lot of time doing that, but I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. I feel an emptiness in my chest when you end the stream. I'm sorry about that. You should do a collab with Carter PCs. Everything I've seen, I don't understand why Carter PCs is called Carter PCs. So I know he does a bunch of YouTube short stuff, but anytime I see stuff pop up from him, it seems like he's always talking about other types of tech, like phones and things like that. It doesn't seem like he has PCs in his name, but he's not the type of like content creator when I think of a PC content creator, right? And this isn't trying to be like elitist or whatever, because the whole TikTok and short form is like a whole different game. But um, I never like I never categorized Carter PCs similar to like myself, Tech by Matt, Oz Talks Hardware. You know, David does tech stuff. Like any of the like channels that do PC stuff. I think he just seems like a general tech channel from what I've seen. But I'm probably not big enough for him to want to collab with. So, do you snowboard or ski? I used to snowboard. Skiing looks fun though, but I don't do any of those anymore. I'm just too lazy. Getting up to the mountains and stuff. Just like the cost of it is just getting more expensive year after year too. Yeah, just I haven't snowboarded probably in over a decade. I used to snowboard quite a bit in college and then post college, but not anymore. The girls are crying. I'm gonna get to them in a second. Uh, my wife, my sister-in-law, and mother-in-law are up there, and they cannot wrangle the girls in. I'm gonna do a sapphire and nitro build. Any recommendations for the case to fit the color scheme? The sapphire and nitro. That's like just gray, right? Any case? Ooh, I don't know of any like gunmetal silver, which is I think like the nitro motherboard and graphics card. I don't know of any cases that are kind of like that gunmetal gray color. That's kind of like harder to color match, to be honest, than just getting a black graphics card. Expires tomorrow morning, but there's a multiplayer game right now that you might like for LAN. Project Winter. Why does that sound familiar? Project Winter. 199 Cabin Fever, 8-person. Ooh, this looks pretty cool. Cabin Fever. Recent reviews are mixed. Why is it mixed? Social deception, game where teamwork is vital but betrayal is inevitable. Is this kind of like an Among Us type of game? So normally it's $10, but it's on sale. I'll throw it in the LAN Discord and see what people say. Is a 9060 XT worth the upgrade from a 6700 XT? I personally wouldn't. I don't think that's a big enough upgrade for me to make if I had a 6700 XT. It's a better card. I guess if you could, you'd probably be able to sell your 6700 XT for like 225-ish. So you can offset the cost if you don't mind doing that. But I would personally try to make the jump to something more powerful, like the 9070. Read previous message? Wait, what'd you say? Previous message. I forget if you said, what do you and the LAN group claim that... Oh, the Epic Game Store? Let me see. We used to. I don't even think I have Epic Games installed on my... Because I updated to Windows. Yeah, I don't even have Epic Game Store. So it's on Epic Game Store. Is that the free game right now? Let me see. I need to install it. Free giveaway. Road Redemption Mobile, huh? We typically, if there's a good game on Epic Game Store, we do. I need to download it and install it on my computer because, yeah, I use the Epic Game Store so little that on my personal PC, I use it quite a bit on my test bench because I benchmark Fortnite. But I personally don't play games through the Epic Game Store for my own personal gaming. But it would be good to just grab up all the free games that they're still throwing at people because I don't know, they're trying to win over market share from Steam or something. I don't know if it's working. Yeah, they give away some good multiplayer stuff from time to time. Just FYI for Unity chat. Yeah, good. Thanks for bringing that up. That's actually a good point. I totally forgot about it. I think when I had it installed before I did my reformat to upgrade to Windows 11, it would always give me those annoying reminders. But sometimes those annoying reminders had a pretty cool game that was worth claiming. So yeah, thanks for the reminder for me to reinstall it and to potentially pick up some games. Have you tried Path of Exile 1 or 2? I tried Path of Exile 1. I couldn't get into it. Something about Path of Exile, the art, the game, maybe not the end game gameplay, because I can never get that far, but the early game and the UI and the graphics compared to Diablo, it's just not my jam. I cannot get into it. And I know Path of Exile is, I think, wildly more popular. I wonder if it's because it's free. Let me look up Path of PoE2. PoE2 right now costs money, right? Because it is not fully released yet. Steam charts. So, what are the amount of players that... So, all-time peak is... So, it's hard to say if PoE2 is more popular than Diablo because it's a free game. It's not free right now, but it's also not complete, so you can't compare the numbers side by side. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I played a lot of I didn't play a ton of Diablo 2, but I played a lot of Diablo 3. That once you play that type of game, when you play something that's similar to it, you're always going to compare it back to it. And I think Diablo is considered the more casual game. I am a more casual gamer these days too. So, yeah. And just, I don't know, something about Blizzard. Blizzard has its grasp in me. I don't know why I can't shake Blizzard games. I will always, for the most part, be a fan of at least their original stuff. Not really a fan of Overwatch, but Warcraft stuff, Diablo, StarCraft, I'll be a fan of those probably for life. Dawn is a good game. Dawn. I've not heard of Dawn. It's a horror game. Oh, it's got a demo out. Single player and online co-op. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of this. Blizzard hasn't been good since StarCraft 2. So what? StarCraft 2 is that 2008? Diablo 3 was I think 2012. Warcraft has been every year since 2004. Blizzard as a company, I would agree that they have not been great, but I think their IP, I don't know, there's just something nostalgic about it that, I've been playing Blizzard games since the original Warcraft back in. My mom shouldn't have even bought it for us because I was I think in 3rd grade, so I was 8 years old. That's a mature game with violence and killing in it. But yeah, the original Warcraft, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, and then WoW. I've just been a Blizzard fan for way too long that no matter how much they mess up, for some reason, they still have their hold on me. What do you think will come of the NVIDIA and Intel team up? Honestly, I don't know what to think about that. I don't think much is gonna change. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna change too much in terms of the course of what AMD is gonna be doing or what they have to offer. And I don't foresee them just coming in and being oh, we're just gonna release, what's it called? Competing hardware now that's way better value. If anything, they'll bring in stuff that's similar value because these companies are about making money, not giving us, huge discounts and good deals on hardware. So we'll have more options for like the same performance per dollar type of stuff, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think anything amazing is going to come out of it. We might get more options, but the options are still going to be in line with each other. This isn't the like competition is amazing for the consumers thing that everyone talks about, because that's been a thing for how many, like 2 GPU generations now, and Nvidia, AMD, and Intel Arc cards are still doing the exact same thing that we've seen previously before there was a third competitor for discrete graphics cards in the consumer market anyways, right? So can you claim on the phone, please? Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I should just log into my Epic account and do that, and then worry about installing it later. But okay, you guys kept me for longer than the 5 minutes I said. So, in terms of upcoming content, I'm trying to get this server video out this week. The build for this. And my plan is to pair it with the 7800 X3D for a pretty awesome gaming computer, and then some other stuff after that. So yeah, for the time being, I guess I will see you all next week, same time as always, same time, same day. And then in the Discord server, if you guys hop into there, or on any of my other social medias like TikTok and Instagram, because I got those too. But yeah, hope everyone has a great rest of their evening. Have a great rest of your week, and have a great weekend coming up. And yeah, I will see y'all next time. No. Wait, why does the audio keep... It came back. It came back. What is going on with this? I'm going to kill this computer. Or I'm going to kill this USB cable, whatever is causing the problem. But yeah, you guys have a good night. I will figure this out hopefully by next week. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.